What terror could make 9 experienced mountaineers cut their way out of a warm tent and run, barefoot, into a raging Soviet blizzard? This is not a ghost story. This is forensic fact. On February 26, 1959, search teams found their camp on the slopes of Dead Mountain, deep in the Ural Mountains. Inside the tent, boots were stacked, clothes were folded, and dinner was untouched. But outside, there was no sign of a struggle. Their journey was meant to be a crowning achievement. Led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, they were veteran cross-country skiers. They were prepared for anything Mother Nature could throw at them. Yet, they abandoned everything in a panic. Their final journal entry was brief. "We are happy to note that there is no need to carry the stove." And then, on the night of February 1st, 1959, a silence fell over Kholat Syakhl that would never be broken. The search began weeks later. When the tent was finally spotted, the investigators knew immediately this was no routine accident. The first 5 bodies were found closest to a dark, massive cedar tree, about a mile downhill from the abandoned tent. 2 men were found there, wearing only underwear. Their hands were burned, and branches 15 feet up the tree were snapped. It was as if they had desperately climbed high into the darkness to search for a light, or run from a shadow. Dyatlov and 2 others were found positioned in a line, desperately crawling back up the hill towards the lost safety of their camp. At least for these 5, the initial conclusion was exposure, a tragic failure of survival instincts in the extreme cold. But 2 months later, the final 4 victims were found buried 15 feet deep in a ravine, and the reality shattered all logic. 3 of these final hikers had suffered catastrophic, non-lethal injuries, internal trauma like a high-speed car crash. Their chests and skulls were crushed, yet there was no external damage. No cuts, no blood, no evidence of any physical attack. Doctors concluded the force was similar to being hit by a powerful tidal wave. But what caused this powerful trauma on a mountainside? Even more disturbing, one victim, Lyudmila Dubanina, was found with her eyes, tongue, and part of her jaw missing. The cause of these specific targeted mutilations remains unknown. The only explanation was decomposition, but it was too fast. The final, terrifying detail. Some of the victims' clothing tested positive for high levels of residual radiation. Was this military testing? A secret weapon? The Soviet Union immediately closed the file and launched a massive cover-up operation. For decades, the official cause of death remained a chilling phrase, a compelling unknown force. Theory 1. The paradoxical avalanche. A rare, localized snow slab hit the tent, forcing the immediate, desperate escape. The fear of being buried alive sent them running, where they then suffered from paradoxical undressing due to hypothermia. This explains the flight, the confusion, and the lack of proper clothing. It offers a tragically neat, scientific answer. Theory 2. The infrasound terror. This theory is much darker, suggesting the very mountain peak was their killer. Powerful winds created a powerful, low-frequency sound known to induce crippling panic, nausea, and disorientation in humans. Driven mad by the noise, they frantically cut their way out and ran until the sound faded, only to die in the cold. This explains the terror, but not the devastating crush injuries that matched a high-speed impact. The puzzle still has missing pieces. Theory 3. The military cover-up. The radiation, the sealed files, and reports of glowing orange spheres nearby. Did they stumble into a secret missile test? Were the crush injuries a result of a powerful sonic weapon that left no visible marks? The missing parts of the bodies, the radiation, the immediate closure, it points to a determined effort to hide a horrifying truth. What happened that night remains one of history's most terrifying open files. The official story is a cold, scientific accident, but it fails to explain why no one attempted to crawl back in to grab a single boot or a coat to save themselves. The truth is buried under layers of snow, Soviet secrets, and forensic data that simply refuses to reconcile. Did they die from the power of the mountain itself, or from something that used the mountain as a cover? We know their final moments were filled with an extreme, unholy terror. A terror so complete, they chose the cold over the unknown. The Dyatlov Pass Incident serves as a monument to human vulnerability against forces we still cannot categorize or comprehend. What do you believe happened on Dead Mountain? Let us know your theory in the comments below. If you want more historical mysteries that defy logic, like the fate of the Mary Celeste, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Your engagement helps us unlock more chilling stories from the past.